I'm gonna do a 2023 Grindr rap for y'all today. 5 of these men misgendered me.
I straight up went from being fetishized as an Asian woman to being fetishized as a gay Asian twink.
My name's Cash and I'm trans and I have been on Grindr this year, so I'm gonna do a 2023 Grindr rap for y'all today. I've provided you this lovely pie chart.
You made a chart? Be honest with me, how long has it been since you've touched grass?
5 of these men misgendered me.
Wonder why?
4 of them said something along the lines of, I like how feminine you sound, or I like that you still sound like a girl.
Sounds like they're attracted to women.
3 of them said, I'm not really, like, gay or anything. Like, I like, like, I'm just on Grindr, like, for giggles.
That sounds straight to me. Or bisexual.
2 said, I thought you would be weirder. Trans people are, like, kind of weird. Like, you're not as weird as them.
Are they wrong though? It depends on what trans we're talking about, the real or the fake kind. Most trans activists fake being trans, and they're weird.
And 1 said, that was awesome. I always wanted to lesbian.
Oh my god, how can he say that? King, you don't look like a lesbian at all. Kind of a strange comment, but can we blame him for thinking like this?
As you can probably tell, all of the things that these guys said were either as I was walking out the door or they texted me later. Here's to hoping that 2024 brings better luck and better
I'm sorry for not being more optimistic, but you have just ruined your chances of getting some nice D. How can you expect men to pursue you after watching this video? When you publicly shame them for having sexual preferences, for being bisexual or straight, making a whole ass chart ranking how transphobic they are. Why should men pursue you when your goal is to test how trans-friendly they are? It's a tiny bit passive-aggressive. Here's the thing, you identify as a trans man. If you want society to treat you as a man, maybe you should stop acting like a woman. How many men makes charts after sleeping with someone? One thing I've learned after living my life as a man for at least 5 years, men are brutally honest. Not only can't you handle the fact that men are honest, you don't understand it. In my case, I wasn't aware of it at first, but as soon as I recognized how honest men are, I understood it right away. But it seems like you don't, and I think that says a lot about your transness. You're publicly shaming men for having eyes and ears. You look like a woman, you sound like a woman, and that's on you. It's not the men you've slept with's fault that you don't look like a man. That is your choice. You are most likely not on testosterone, you most likely have not removed your breasts, so can you actually blame the men for saying the things they've said to you? No, but the point of trans activism is, trans activists don't want to make the effort to look like the opposite sex, but they want people around them to affirm them as the opposite sex. Even though it doesn't make sense, a trans activist's goal is getting the majority of all people to obey them. They have to get down on their knees and say, of course you're a man, of course you're a woman. If this woman is so unhappy with the way she got treated by men because she wasn't affirmed as a man, all she has to do is to go on testosterone and look and sound like a man. That's all she gotta do. And maybe also get top surgery because gay men at least are not attracted to big hairy titties. What is wrong with me? Isn't it weird how I never had any issues dating when I was single? It must be a coincidence. Or is it because I made the effort to look like a guy and I respected the men I interacted with? Maybe it's because I didn't demand the men to claim that the grass is not green, but purple. I didn't demand that they had to lie to themselves about what they see and hear.
Navigating Grindr as a trans man part 2.
Would you be interested in doing anything? Sure. Cool. How far are you into the operation?
I'm confused. What's wrong about asking that? He has the right to know what's in between your legs, because he has to consent to being with you. That's how it works.
I'm pretty good. How are you? Pretty good. So I'm so curious. What is it like having sex as a FTM? Are you on TV?
I'm so sorry for the voice filter, it's so annoying. I think it's immature that he can't just use his normal voice. Was it like having sex as a FTM? Are you on T? That's a normal question. Well, maybe it's not a normal question to ask, because most people are not FTM, but I think it makes sense to ask this on a sex app. Grindr is not a dating app, it's a sex app. Hookup app. Why am I saying sex app? Okay, maybe it's a little bit weird to ask him if he's on T. He has a full-size beard and all, but why shame these men for asking simple questions? Is it because they point out that you're not a real man? That you're FTM? Female to male? I don't like the term female to male. You can't change your biological sex. Female to man? No, because a man is a male. Male is a man. You're triggered because they point out that you're not a real man? Something that's quite relevant in this conversation. Are you upset because you're ashamed of being trans? Are you upset because they didn't ask you those things the right way, whatever that means? Quick side note, you can never win with these people. Trans activists will complain about how you behave, about what you say and think, even when you are trying to be respectful. It's not good enough. Trans activists themselves don't know what's good enough, because gaining respect and acceptance in society is not their goal. As I've said many times before, their goal is to dominate. They want you to obey them. So my advice is, stop trying to please these people. It's a waste of your time, and it's a waste of energy.
I recently started using Grindr, and I've realized that cis gay men are no better than straight men. I've dated both of them on very different periods of my gender journey, but the experiences oddly parallel each other. Cis men are just gonna be pulling the same shit everywhere. They're still mansplaining to me, they're still fetishizing me.
You claim to be a trans man, but you complain about mansplaining. Make it make sense. The last time I checked, you need to be a woman in order to feel like someone is mansplaining to you. Otherwise, it would be a conversation between two men, right? Ugh, these people are giving me a headache. And also, how many gay men complain about being seen as a fetish by other men? Do you even know men? Why is it a bad thing that men see you as a fetish? They are sexually attracted to you. What's the problem? Did you really expect Grindr to be the place where you find true love? Because I hate to disappoint you, but Grindr is an app for gay men who are horny. So maybe you shouldn't be on there if it's so traumatic for you.
They still think that a is gonna somehow change me from being a lesbian or wanting to date other women.
What? Are you attracted to eggplants or not? If you don't want men to offer their eggplants to you, don't be on Grindr. Respect that Grindr is a place for gay men to hook up. Respect that. Respect men. You're claiming to be a man, then understand them. Just try to understand how they think and act. It shouldn't be that hard. This behavior right here is why I believe these people are not trans. If they don't even want to spend 2 seconds on understanding the sex they want to be, why not live their lives as their biological sex?
I straight up went from being fetishized as an Asian woman to being fetishized as a gay Asian twink, which I don't even identify as.
And it's something that you're not, because you're not a biological male.
I would say one upside is that it has been a little bit more gender affirming, but there's still a lot of the same misogyny. Gay or straight, they were still raised as cis men.
Do you have a problem with cis men, meaning biological men, identifying as men? Do you have a problem with men? Why transition?
I don't know if these have just been my personal experiences, but I'm truly convinced that T for T is the best way to go.
T for T means trans for trans, so she would have to find a woman who's also claiming to be a man. And I think that's great. Go ahead and date other delusional women. That's totally up to you. But in the meantime, can you stop shaming men for having certain sexual preferences? You don't have to. I'm not forcing you to do anything. But I think it's ironic when you complain about people being disrespectful to you. You're being so disrespectful yourself. Should women be on Grindr, the gay male dating app? Well, I think it's a problem to see so many fake trans men being on Grindr, ruining this experience for gay men. I have personally been on Grindr years ago, and I have never had any issues. I literally wrote trans men in my name. I couldn't have been any more honest about my situation. When I say I didn't have any issues, I wasn't disrespectful to anyone. No one wasn't really disrespectful to me, because if they weren't attracted to me, they wouldn't reach out. They wouldn't DM me. Believe it or not, my inbox was almost always full. And you could argue that my inbox was full of bisexuals. But I have to say, the majority of men who have reached out to me identify as gay. They were only tops, and they were curious to see someone who looks like a man with clothes on, but underneath had a certain body part that was meant for penetration. I'm sorry to be graphic, but I can't explain it in another way. And of course, if biological men have sex with me, it is not homosexual, because I'm not a biological male. However, I don't think we can ignore how many gay men are attracted to trans men who pass, who are real trans men, because they're tops and they only want to find bottoms. And trans men have a certain body part that is actually meant for penetration. Biological men who are bottoms, they use a certain body part that's not meant for penetration. Calling these men who have identified as gay for many, many years bisexual feels a little bit weird to me, because they would never date women who look like women. They're not attracted in any way to regular women. They wouldn't even date fake trans men with the septum piercings and the blue hair. They only want to date someone who looks completely male. And it of course also makes me feel weird to say that it is gay for a gay man to sleep with a trans man. And I know from a factual and biological perspective, it is not homosexual, it's not gay. Maybe it will forever be a gray area, who knows? I don't think it's that weird for very passing trans men to be on Grindr. Trans activists on Grindr, aka the fake trans men, want to change the app. They want all of these gay men to change the way they think, and overall want to change their sexual orientations. That is of course not okay. Real trans men, they know they're not gay men. They're trans men, biological women attracted to biological men. They don't feel the need to change any definition, to change the app, change men's mindset and behavior. Thank you all for watching this video. If you want to see more content like this, remember to hit subscribe and the notification bell. If you want to support me and my channel, you can become a member, or I have my PayPal link in the description down below. Remember to follow me on social media. I love you and I cannot wait to see you in the comments. Peace out.